Welcome everyone to this full moon reading for the month of September. So this full moon is in Pisces and it's on the 10th of September. Now this full moon in Pisces, Pisces being a water sign, it has the traits of sensitivity and faith. It's ruled by Neptune, which is about imagination, dreams and illusions. So these energies are going to play out a little bit for each sign differently. Now remember, the full moon is a time when we get clarifications and results from the questions and the intentions we set at the last new moon. It's a time of looking at what worked and what hasn't worked, and areas that you might need to tweak or let go of altogether. It's time for gratitude and forgiveness and acceptance of where you find yourself now. So please watch for your rising sign first, as I will be covering the houses that this falls in for each sign. Then watch for your sun and moon signs, because then that will give you a bigger picture of the energies for the month and how they're likely to play out for you. As always, these are general readings, general messages, so please just take what resonates with you and just leave the rest. Hello Scorpio, welcome to your full moon reading for September. So this full moon is in Pisces, which for rising sign Scorpions, it's in your 5th house. Now your 5th house is ruled by the sun, and so it influences romance, children, creativity and fun. And isn't that interesting? You've got pride as your overall energy, and the sun rules Leo. And Leo is all about pride. So the sun is, that sun energy of your 5th house is really going to have some importance. And I feel that that's regardless of whether you are a rising sign Scorpio or whether you are a sun or moon. I think the energies will play out the same. So with this full moon in Pisces, the traits of Pisces are sensitivity and faith. They believe, and because it's ruled by Neptune, and Neptune's all about imagination, dreams and delusions, this full moon is kind of going to play out in both those kind of energies. So we'll see how. Take time to breathe out. Quite an interesting energy. Oh, thank you. Resistance. My darling Scorpios, are you being a little stubborn? It's my resistance card. It comes up when there's a little bit something we're not really willing to look at, something we're kind of dug our heels in about. And with the pride card here, it could be that your pride's been a little bit hurt, so you're digging your heels in about something. The universe wants you to just breathe out the World and the Queen of Cups. Okay, lovely. Final message, Spirit, please. Thank you very much. Okay, yes. I feel this moon, Scorpio, is going to be a bit of an emotional one for you. So I feel a little heads up by spirit just to say you're probably going to be feeling a little bit more emotional than usual, and it might have you reacting in ways that you probably normally wouldn't, but you'll just get caught up in it, and before you know it, damage has been done. So that's just a little side message that I've just received, maybe for one person, two people, maybe for a lot of you. So just bear that energy in mind. So Scorpio, we have the numerology card. So we have 19 and Pride. So this is your overall energy, especially if you're not a rising sign, Scorpio. If you're a sun or a moon, this is more likely to be the energy that you play out. But because I link Pride to Leo, and this full moon is in your 5th house, which is ruled by the sun, which rules Leo, I find the energies will probably be very similar for all three of you. So for sun, moon and rising. Then we have the moonology. It says take time to breathe out. It's the disseminating moon. We have the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and its resistance, and this is number 25. The Universal Rider-Waite Tarot, we have the World and the Queen of Cups, and in the Witch's Tarot we have the 8 of Cups. Okay, so let's have a look. So we start off with 19 and Pride. Now, before we dig into the Pride, let's have a look at the number, because this is the numerology oracle. So, you know, 1 and 9 is 10, and in tarot 10 is completion. Now 10 in numerology becomes a 1. So you've got like 2 1s and a 9. And your 1s is your new beginnings. It's the new ideas. It's the taking action. It's allowing change. It's opportunities. It's being bold and having the courage and the boldness to be able to move forward. Because your 9 in numerology is completion. It's the end of a cycle. It also signifies celebration. And we often forget to celebrate when we reach the end of a cycle. It's all about releasing. Again, it's about courage and strength, because it takes courage and strength to allow things to fall away, to allow things to come to an end, to move forward without all the baggage of the last journey. And I'm wondering, Scorpio, between the ending and the new beginning, have you gotten caught up in your pride? Now, pride for me, I actually did a card on my Instagram not so long ago about pride, because there's pride that comes from an ego-based feeling, and that's the pride when we take other people into consideration. So when we tell ourselves, what will other people think? Or we don't want people to think less of us. And there's also the pride of being proud of our achievements, the pride that is above the ego. The pride that is that we can acknowledge our own self-worth, and we can give ourselves a pat on the back. So I'm going to ask you, Scorpio, what pride are you getting stuck in? Are you feeling prideful in the sense that you don't want the ending to happen because maybe in this new beginning you're going to earn less money, or maybe If it's a job, it's less prestigious, or maybe you're moving but the house is not as beautiful, not as big. So are you getting caught up in that kind of pride? In the boastful pride is kind of what I want to say. It's the pride that we get caught up in when we want to look good in other people's eyes. But Spirit's asking you at this point in time, Scorpio, you need to be proud of you. You need to be proud of how far you've come. You need to be proud of all those little achievements that nobody else might notice. We don't need them to. You don't need them to. You need to notice. You need to give yourself a pat on the back. That's the pride that you need. Because I feel like there's resistance to this new journey. There's resistance to this new beginning. There might be resistance to the endings. And maybe you haven't really said to yourself, wow, I have learnt so much. I'm not who I used to be. It doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out. I don't think we ever do. But I feel, Scorpio, you're due to give yourself a pat on the back. And I feel that even more strongly with the take time to breathe out. That's the, you know, we breathe out when we come to the end of something. You know, it's the sigh. Like I really feel like, feeling that it's like the sigh of relief. You know, and when we find ourselves in anticipation, in excitement, in fear, when we are unsure of ourselves or feel a little bit, I guess unsure, we tend to hold our breath, waiting for a reaction, waiting for a response from people, just waiting to see what happens. And Spirit's saying, breathe out. Don't hold your breath in anticipation to what others might think of you. In this journey, it's of no importance to you. And I don't remember where I read it, but I remember reading somewhere, and it was, what others think of you is none of your business. And I remember looking at it going, oh, and it really, it kind of, well, first of all, it took me back, and then it really made me laugh. And I thought, well, it isn't really, is it? And nor should it, because who knows how that person has come to their conclusion about us. So if we take that on board, well, we're lost in the depth of somebody else's understanding, how they see the world. And we can't even begin to imagine that. So then it's this never-ending pool of guessing. And you've got resistance, and I love the image on this card. It's just, the hand is shut, it's squeezing. And to me, this is shouting no. But isn't nature a beautiful thing? You know, we've concreted all our world, and still in the cracks that appear, you'll have little plants growing. Nature just finds a little crack and comes through. And in this card, I feel it's the universe. The universe is either causing little cracks in your armor because it wants you to shine your light through. It wants you to let your natural, authentic self to come through, to shine through. And I always say, when we're not being authentic, and it's not easy to be authentic, but when we're not being authentic, the things that are meant for us have a harder time finding us because we're not being true. But when we are being ourselves as best we can, that's when life falls into place, because these opportunities, the people that are meant for us, can actually find us. You know, I often think, you know, if you want a relationship, especially, I mean, this can be friends, definitely it can be partnerships in business, but I'll talk about a romantic one. But if you want to find a romantic partner, but every time you go out you put a false self out there, you try to be more outgoing, you try to be more intellectual, you try to be more tough, you try to be whatever you think you need to be. But are you going to attract the person that is right for you, the true you? No, you can't, because that's not what you're presenting to the world. And so you can imagine when two people are doing that, the chances of them missing is huge. And that's why it's so easy to end up with the wrong partner. Or, having said that though, because we never really end up with what's wrong for us. We always end up with something that can teach us or make us grow and evolve. So it's not that it's wrong, but it certainly makes us take the long way around. It makes life more difficult. So whatever you're resisting, Leo, and maybe you might need time to just breathe, relax, to actually see where this resistance is. Because life's changing. You've got the endings and the beginnings. And you've got the world. The world is the end of the cycle in tarot. And I always see the world as this portal into the new. It's taking what you've learnt, letting go of what no longer serves you, and stepping into a new life. And that doesn't mean that everything has to change, of course not. For some of you it might though. But it means you have to be willing. You have to be willing to take that step forward. You have to be willing to embrace the new you. And you have to be willing to let go of the things that need to be let go of. And I love that the Queen of Cups is here, because she's emotionally balanced. She looks at her emotions. She's not afraid of them. She understands them. And she knows how to use her emotions for her benefit. And by that I mean, or how we can apply that in our life, is look at your emotions, because they help you to see what's going on with you, what's going on inside of you. And I love that the Queen of Cups is looking into the world. You know, she's facing the world. And she's looking at what emotions are holding her back from taking this step forward. And she receives those emotions gracefully and gratefully. The Queen's is all about receiving, and the Queen of Cups receives these emotions that she has. She receives the awareness from them. They give her so much information about her. And it doesn't matter if the emotions are turbulent. It doesn't matter whether they're emotions that she wants or doesn't want. She doesn't even see them like that. She sees them as all being productive, all being helpful. They're all a guiding light to help her understand herself better. And Scorpio, I know we've probably talked about a lot in all your readings, but at the moment there really is a lot of endings and a lot of new beginnings. And the Eight of Cups is here and you're walking away. And again, cups, emotions. There's going to be emotions linked in with this walking away from, this releasing the past. Can just be releasing the old you. But the Eight of Cups is always releasing the past to move forward to something better. There's something guiding you forward. And even though you're resisting, Scorpio, you're not saying no. You're just dragging your feet a little bit. Take time to breathe and embrace whatever new thing wants to come into your life. And those things that you might be holding on to that you're not quite ready to say goodbye to yet, just lessen your grip on them. See what is it about that thing, that situation, that person that makes you want to grip so tightly. Work through it like the Queen of Cups does. Use it as like a lantern in the dark, showing you what's tripping you up, what's holding you back. And be proud of your achievements, be proud of how far you've come. But don't let pride of what you think others think of you or how you want to appear in other people's eyes, don't let that stand in your way. I'm going to leave you with those messages, Scorpio. Love and light, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.